they are forever also. And that's the statement, Kol Yisrael, Yesh Lohem Chelek La'olam Habo. They are forever. Unless they do something to forfeit it. It's possible to forfeit it, but otherwise it's forever. Now let's see about the nations of the world. There is a concept that mankind always accepted, a concept of capital punishment. There is such an idea that when a man did certain wrong things, it becomes incumbent upon the people of authority to take away his life. Now, we're not considering the present attitudes because we see that the present attitudes lead only to anarchy, and they are not livable, they're not viable, because the world always knew how to conduct its affairs much better than we today. With all our technology, we are failures at managing our own society. There's no question that we know today less how to control our society than any previous generation. The fact that we have trouble, so-called, with the youth is ridiculous. In the past generations, there was no trouble with the youth. Out of the question. Crime always existed, but it was controlled to a certain extent. That crime should get out of hand, and that criminals should crop up in every stratum of society. That's only due to the fact that our people have lost sight of the elementary principles, the fundamentals of conducting society. So, not to go too far afield, we get back to this principle of capital punishment, which always was practiced by us and lahavdil by all the nations of the world, and it's sanctioned by the Almighty, not sanctioned, but it's mandatory. Shefet dam ho'odom, ho'odom dono yishofeh. He who sheds the blood of a man, by men his blood must be shed. It's a statement in the Torah. And the statement was made to Noach, not to the Jewish people. It was made to the ancestor of the human race. That has to be a basic principle. We shouldn't wait for the Almighty to intervene and to punish. Certainly, the Almighty intervenes and punishes the wicked. But that's none of our business. We are commanded. If somebody sheds human blood, by man, don't know Yishafeh, his blood must be shed. It means men must put themselves into the situation. They must take over the situation, and they must see to it that the murderer is put to death. That's their duty. And don't tell me any philosophies, what good will he do, you have to rehabilitate him. Nothing will help. Even if he runs away and he becomes rehabilitated, you lost sight of him. And 50 years have elapsed. And now he's finally discovered, let's say, he is a quiet man, a benefactor of society. Let's say he has a free clinic where everybody comes and he gives everybody advice and free medical treatment and help. And the world needs him. But finally, when we catch up with him, when justice catches up with him, there is no reprieve. It's a crime against the principles of mankind to reprieve him. All society must stand on this principle. Although by men his blood must be shed. And nobody can pardon him. Not the Melech, the king, or the Kohen Gadol, the high priest, or the chief Sanhedrin of 70 elders in Jerusalem. Nobody can pardon him. There's no such thing as pardoning. That's what the Torah demands of us. Now we come to a big question. Good. We're going to shed the murderer's blood. So we'll say, well, he incurred the penalty. Who told him to become angry, to lose his head, and to do such a wicked act? All right. But he's a young man, and he has dormant within him all the future generations. So by executing him, you are putting to death hundreds of thousands, maybe millions of the unborn. He did not have any children yet. Now those unborn generations, should they go lost because of his crime? But since we see that this is a principle which the Creator himself has laid down, so we learn from this that not only does the shedder of blood forfeit the right to existence, but all the generations that could have come from him also lost their right to exist. Now that's a big finish. It's a novel idea, but get it into your head because you can see it as clearly as could be. That's what happens when you put to death this criminal. You're putting to death all the future generations. Now, where is justice? Why should all the generations suffer? And the answer is, the Creator does not owe anything to anyone. No one has any deed that entitles him to enter this world. Life is a gift and nothing more. It's not a right. It's a donation. The Almighty bestows that great gift of life on those whom he sees fit to give it. And therefore, when a man who could have been their progenitor lost his right to live, then his children, the generations that could have come from him, are not given that gift. They're not being deprived of anything because they didn't have it. It's a matter of a donation, and the donation is not bestowed on them. Therefore, suppose a murderer escapes justice, and in the meantime he begets children, then all those generations that come out of him are living gratis. It means they are permitted to exist only by sufferance. Actually, they have lost their right to come into the world. Now, none of this is an accident. If the Almighty permitted that criminal to get away and to remain unpunished, that's his plan, because he wanted for his purposes to produce generations from him. That's his plan. It's an extra gift that HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave to them for his purposes. Maybe he wants to have generations of murderers in the world. We need murderers in the world too. They accomplish a certain function. Or maybe he needs employees in private sanitation. Who else will go into private sanitation? So he allowed their ancestor to cheat the gallus, cheat the electric chair. In the meantime, he spawned these young men or these people who attend to private sanitation, and they're doing a useful function in the world. Why should they permit it to do that? The Almighty has His plans. Everything that He does we don't understand, but it's a gift from Him, but it's for a purpose. Now, when we come to the next world, we must understand that the admission to the next world is nothing but a gift. Nobody has earned a ticket to the world to come. It's a matnas chinam. It's a donation. And HaKadosh Baruch Hu says, look, he said, suppose I would be speaking in this hall on Saturday night, this place Saturday night, and you come and knock on the door, so I could say, only certain persons are admitted. So you say, where's the justice? We also want to hear. So I said, look, I didn't sell you any tickets. I have a right to speak to those whom I choose. And therefore there's no complaint. You walk away, and you shouldn't feel any grudge. Any wrong was done to you. You can feel that perhaps you lost something. Maybe you didn't lose anything. But you can't feel a grudge. And therefore, HaKadosh Baruch Hu gives the life in the world to come to the children of those great men whom He loved so dearly. Because He loved our fathers, so He said that I'm going to give your children the afterlife, of course with conditions, provided they don't do certain things to forfeit it. The nations of the world are not given this gift of the afterlife.